Hello ladies and gentlemen, I'm back, and this time I'm going to do kale greens with onions. There's basil in there, some seasoning. I used some Scott seasoning, and I just half cooked them. I only cooked them for about 15-20 minutes because they're going to finish cooking at 212 degrees in the processor, right, in the jars. So just wanted to show you that I'm about to start, and it is 3:04. God bless. And the meat that I'm going to use for my greens and onions, as you can see, and there's garlic in there and seasoning. I'm going to use some chicken that I did 11/9, it looks like, 22. I'm going to use some chicken that I did. This was chicken thighs. So I'm going to pour this into the greens, and I'll show you what they look like. Okay, now there's two things that I could do. I could actually just take the whole jar of chicken, okay, and put it in with the parboiled greens, whole, with the parboiled greens, mix it up, and put them in the jars and save the juice for later, which really sounds good. Or I can just take the greens out, put them in a bowl, and add the chicken to it, and then put them in the jars. But what I want to do is, I love to save the liquid. So I'm going to go ahead and add the chicken into the greens, mix it up, fill the jars, and whatever I have left, I'll put the liquid in different jars and do them on the second run. Okay, so I will open up the chicken. All right. Always smell it when you open it, and it's good. Ooh, it smells real good. Okay, and I will pour that into the greens, and this will all mix in. This is good juice and, you know, things that you need, nutrients. So I'll pour all of this into the greens, and this has seasoning in it as well. Let me see if we can get this out a little better. Okay. All right. Pour that in the greens. Okay. And I will mix them. Okay. And then I will mix these and, you know, tear the chicken pieces apart. And I will show you what it looks like when I'm done. You know, before I go any further, I have to show you what these look like, what they look like down in the greens. So I'll put a little light on. Hopefully it makes it better. I want to show you what it looks like down in the greens, okay? Oops. This is the chicken down in the greens and onions. Okay, and I will separate them and take out the bones or whatever have you. But that's, see, it looks good. See how nice the sauce looks? It made good liquid for use that as soups or whatever later. And I'll be back. All right, and I took a paper towel to put the skins or whatever I find on there. Okay, and now I'm going to start ripping the chicken meat up. As you can see, it's cooked very well. Okay. Rip the thighs up. Put them back down in and find another piece, and so on and so on and so on. All right, and for the greens, as you can see, it says sort young, tender, fresh picked greens, which I sorted and washed them and everything, and I blanched them for a few minutes. I say about 10 or 15 minutes, and pack hot greens loosely in hot jars. Leave about 1 inch headspace. Add salt if desired. I already put in the seasoning in the chicken. Cover with fresh boiling water. And what I'm not going to use boiling water. I'm going to use the juice from the greens and the chicken. And leaving 1 inch headspace. Remove the bubbles. Clean the jar rims. Position lids and secure with bands. Process at 10-pound pressure. Pints 70 minutes, but I have quarts, which will be 90. And I use 15-pound pressure because I'm like, I think like 1080. 1030, 1080. I'm above 1,000 feet. So, and that's what I'm going to do. Okay, and I will show you guys me packing the jars. I will put in a little bit of greens and onions first, and with some meat. Try to find some chicken to put in there. There we go. In fact, let me see. Okay. All right. And then I will punch these down in here and show you what they look like, and then we'll add the juice. All right. So now I will, as you can see, I filled these all the jars with the chicken and I hope you can see this, with the chicken and the greens. Okay. And now I'm going to put the liquid in. We'll start with the back one. And be careful. You know what? Be careful, because there's some times when you're putting the liquid in and it just gets, you get happy and you're putting in more than what you think you're putting in. Okay. And I like this ladle because it fits down in there completely, and you can pour from either side. That's almost up to the shoulder. Okay, I'll debubble that a little later. All right, put this aside. Okay, now, as you can see, let's scoot this up a little bit more. All right, okay, here is what I'm going to put in, probably pints later on the second run after these are through. Okay, but there they are. Set this down properly. Okay, and they're filled. Now I want to debubble them. Some people say you don't have to. I say doesn't hurt to. All right, and this is what they call the debubbler. Okay, it's flat, and it has, see, that's that end, and it has numbers on it. Is this the side with numbers? Yeah, this has numbers on it. It tells you how far to go. This might not pick it up. Let me see. No, it's not going to pick it up unless I go far away. But it has numbers on it, and it tells you how far, like you measure this way. All right, that's an inch, 3/4, half. I mean, you know what I mean? So I'm going to debubble these, make sure there's no bubbles down in there. And then I'm not going to add any salt or anything in here because I put salt in the greens when I was cooking them. And now I will wipe off the rims. There's nothing else to put in here. Wipe off the rims with vinegar. As you can see, wipe off the rims. Okay, with vinegar. And I need a small mouth lid. So here is the first one. I'm ready. Yes, here's the first one. Finger tight, no tighter. Finger tight, no tighter. Finger tight, no tighter. And now I have to get a small mouth. Sorry guys, but I have a whole bag of stuff over here. I have a bag, but what I'm going to do is I have an empty drawer here in the kitchen, and I'm going to use that drawer to put these in. I'll show you what it looks like. All right, if I could get this up here. Okay, I'm going to, but this is the bag. I have this bag full of lids and whatever, you know what I mean? So I'm going to put it in this bottom. I have a bottom drawer down there I can use. All right, and here's the small lid. Okay, it's used, but they work. All right. And there is your greens. There are your greens. And like I said, we could do the juice later. I will move this aside. And now I'm going to heat up real quick the water, which I really should have had on, but it'll heat up fast on this oven. I mean, on this stove. Because like I said, you don't want them to seal on you. You know what I mean? So I will do that, and I'll be back, my friends. All right, pre-greens before I guess I call it pre-canning. All right, I'm waiting for the water to get more hot. By itself, my camera went off of me. By itself, it is 5 pounds, okay? With 2 of them, 10 pounds. And with 3 of them, which I use all the time because I'm over 1,000 altitude, 15 pounds, okay? That's your weight. All right, we'll be waiting for the steam. I started my timer after the weight started to rock, started to jiggle, and I still have it turned on high. So now that the weight is jiggling, I'm going to turn it down to 5, halfway. And that'll slow down a little bit. You want a nice slow rock. And in 1 hour, 15 minutes, 75 minutes, oh actually 90, hold on. 90 guys, 90. Timer, 1 hour. Yeah, because they're quarts. 1 hour, 30 minutes. Aha! Glad I caught myself. 1 hour and 30 minutes. Okay, and I just turned it down halfway, and the jiggler is rocking very nicely. So in 1 hour, 30 minutes, we will see how they come out. All right, it is 6:59. I think you can see back here, it's 6:59 in the evening, and this top button went down, which means all of the pressure is out of the canner, and I can take this off now. All right, and what I'll do is unscrew this a little bit and sit the top back. About 5 minutes. It's 6:59 now. Let it sit until like maybe 5 minutes after 7 or so. I took them out, and they look great. And they look, sometimes when you make things like tomatoes or potatoes or whatever, your greens, they float, but when they settle down like the next morning, it looks real nice in here inside. This one looks like it might have overflowed just a little bit. Because the water's down a little bit lower than the others. But they look good. They look great. And also I noticed that in the water, okay, as you can see, there's a little bit of green in that water. So something overflowed a little bit. But that's okay. Everything's going to be fine. You know what I mean? Looks good. And that is how you can greens. You let it set like that. It is 7:25 in the evening. I don't know if you can see past this. There we go. I think you can see past there. Okay, it's 7:25 in the evening. And I will leave these sit like this until tomorrow morning. And I'll take the bands off. Make sure they have a good seal. I don't think any of them sealed yet. Or did, yeah, that one did. 2, 3. This one didn't. Yeah, the bump's still up on that one. And I don't think that one did either. But 2 more. And that's how you do your greens. And all 4 of them sealed. They're still bubbling. As you can see, they're still processing in the jars. And I heard 2 of them seal while I was in the living room. And yes, they're all sealed. So there they are, our greens. And chicken, onions, and garlic.